All right, we are in the middle of the spring season here in real estate, and I wanted to record this video to let you know how the real estate market is doing. Now that we have the month of March in the books, it is time to update the monthly data statistics here in the general Aurora area to give you an idea of what's happening in the real estate market. Do we have more inventory? Are prices going down of homes? Are buyers leaving the market? Is the demand going down? And it's been some time as well in the geopolitical sphere where Iran war is waning and what the buyer sentiment is. We're going to find out if that had any effect at all here in the real estate market in Aurora. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Without any further words on this, let's go ahead and look at the real estate market. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to pull this up, and what I'm looking at here is a graph from the program called InfoSparks here in my local MLS, so I can better show you. And what I'm going to do here is show you what's happening in the general Aurora area as far as the general market goes. It includes all properties, be it the original. All the properties in general, duplexes, single family homes, detached, attached, you name it, right? We're going to include all of that here in this particular video, as well as all types of sales and whatnot. Okay, we're talking about the three big pillars, which are number one, the inventory of homes, the prices of homes, and the buyer demand. Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking about, first of all, let's do this. Let's talk about the prices of homes. Have they gone up? Have they gone down? Let's take a look at each category. Okay, again, category number one is the general Aurora area. Category two, we're going to talk about again is the 300K or less market, and finally we're going to talk about the duplex market as well here in this video. So let's get started with the general Aurora area and all in general. Right? What are the prices going for? Average home prices here, we're looking at $476,000 was the average price. Now, does that mean your house down the street can sell for that much? No, but what it is saying that in the general Aurora area, which includes, of course, Aurora proper, but also the surrounding villages such as Montgomery, Oswego, North Aurora, and a little bit of Sugar Grove, all of those are just in that mixed bag. Okay, so just to let you know, again, the prices have been $476,000. Is that up or is that higher or lower than last year? We're looking at 3.7 above last year. So March 2026, we're looking at 476K, and in March of last year, we were looking at 460 approximately. So yes, prices have gone up in the general Aurora area here by 3.5%, and so we're going to 3.7%. So we're going to continue to see that increase, I believe, as the buyer demand goes. So now let's take a look at the inventory of properties. Okay, how many homes for sale in this particular range, right? So we have here, let me just actually pull up the monthly statistic. There we go. All right, 732 homes on the market. Now that could be, again, all of the properties, single family, duplex, new construction, resale, everything together. We had a total of, 732 homes for sale. That is up 23% compared to last year. Last year in March, we were only at 595. So this year we are seeing, yes, more inventory compared to last year by 23% here in the general Aurora area. Okay, so prices have gone up. Here we go, 3.7%, and inventory has gone up 23% in the general Aurora area. And so now let's see about buyer demand. Okay, have we had more showings per listing? Okay, so this month of March, we're looking at 9 shows per listing. Now, shows per listing means that of the buyers that are available, that are working with agents that are pre-approved, how many of them have put in a request to see a property? Okay, and according to the calculations here and the numbers, we were looking at 9.1. Has that gone up? Has that gone down? It's gone down compared to last year. Last year in March, we were looking at 10.2. So now we're looking at 9.1. So I mean, to put it in perspective, last year we had, for every house, averaging about 10 shows. This year, 9. So we do see a little bit of a drop when it comes to shows here in the general Aurora area, but again, that's just for right now. Okay, but it looks like a 10% drop compared to last year. Okay, but compared to other parts of the year, January, February, we do see that incline, okay, that we do see that incline. Is that in keeping with the cycles of the year? And that answer is yes. From January onward, we do see a climb, and it has been the practice even in the last several years that March, April, we do see that peak in buyer demand. So that's what we're looking at now. So just to kind of put things in perspective, here in March, April, which is where we are currently, we're seeing the pinnacle, the peak of buyer activity in the market. So again, if you're looking to make a move, in other words, you're looking to sell your house sometime this year and you're wondering what's the best time for me to list, it is right now, March and April. If you don't list right now, no worries, the market's still gonna be there, right? And there's always gonna be buyers. I even attested that even in the winter time, but we are seeing that the most amount of buyers are right now in the market. Okay, so now let's shift gears and let's focus on a different part of the market. Okay, we just looked at the whole general market, but now let's focus on a specific aisle in the supermarket of houses, and that is the aisle of the Aurora area with properties going 300K or less. Why focus on that? Because I do see a lot of folks are looking for properties not only in that price range, but also investors, especially those investors that are looking to buy and hold properties. They're aiming at properties 300K or less. So let's kind of look at the picture here. The homes that I'm going to be looking at are homes that are basically single family detached homes that have been in resale, okay, not new construction, right? And these are single family detached homes, okay? If you want more data on other types of homes or more statistics, then reach out to me here. I'd love to help you out. 630-777-4597 is my number. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the sale price in that particular market. Okay, so let me pull up the information here. All right, let's see. Do we have it? Okay, great. All right, here we go. All right, for this market, here we go. In this particular market, average price has been $242. Is that higher or lower than last year? Compared to March of last year, we were looking at $244. So we're 0.6 less, okay? So just to show you, that's the average price. If you want to look at the median price, again, 2% less than last year. So this year we're averaging in this particular market $245,000, and last year we were at $250,000. Okay, so the prices of homes in this market of 300K or less have dropped a little bit, right? 250 versus 245 is what the average is going now. Now let's take a look at home inventory. Okay, that's another pillar. Number two. Pillar number two is homes for sale. How does that look like here? Well, we are looking at a low point, right? We've been averaging this past month, about 19, 23, 24 homes. It says here 23 homes for sale. Is that better or worse than last year? Last year we were looking at 22. So we had a little bit extra homes, but it's relatively flat. We're still looking at the same amount of homes for sale as compared to last year. Okay, I know that we had a little bit of volatility here with the interest rates. There was a point a few weeks ago where interest rates were flirting with the number 5, high fives, right? Folks were, kind of getting excited and getting into the market. And after the volatility of what has happened overseas and there's a fear among investors and whatnot, the global recession fears, everything else, it looks like buyers are looking like, yeah, it's, interest rates are not as high. And so the consumer confidence has dropped. But not enough to make a huge ripple effect here in the real estate market. But we do see that inventory has been basically the same as it has been even last year. So we're looking at 23, okay? And finally, when it comes to buyer demand, okay, let's take a look and see what the buyer demand looks like. Are we better or worse than last year? Well, in this particular market, okay, remember, we looked at the general Aurora area with all properties from high end all the way down to the bottom of the list. We had seen 9 shows per listing, 10 shows, give or take here between this year and last year, okay? But now in this aisle of the supermarket of real estate, right, the 300K detached single family homes, resale, we do see a lot of demand literally here in this market. If you're looking for a property in this range, you're going to see a lot of competition. But we're looking at 19.8 shows per listing. That is basically for every listing we see about 20 showings requests. Some have more and some have less. I can tell you, I have a property that's I have listed currently that is in this range right now. It has $299,900 on 557 Binder Street. If you want to know more information, reach out to me at 630-777-4597. But I tell you that home, I got a call coming in here, but that home right there had 65 showings in the last 30 days. 65, right? So it just shows you that the demand is out there. Folks are hungry for these properties, okay? So of course I'm ready to, go ahead and move forward and see what can be done with the homes for sale, okay? All right, so that's what we see in the demand, but let's compare it to even a year ago. A year ago, March of 2025, we did see 22. So even though, I could get all excited about how many folks are in the market, last year we had a slight bit more, and it is what it is, right? We do see a little bit less buyers compared to last year. But again, 22 folks looking at properties, it's still a hot market. I mean, it's white hot, right? White hot. And even though we do see a little bit less than last year, it's just very hot, and it's just very hot, very hot. In other words, last year was very, very hot. This year it's very, very hot. Does that make sense? So it's looking like that, and it's nothing new. Of course, we're looking at a year before as well. In 2024, it was at 24 listings. Shows per listing, and then last year it was at 22, and this year we're at 19.8. So if you want to look at it from the perspective of a historical context in the last 3 years of buyer demand here in the real estate world, you know what? It does look like it's been shrinking by 2 every single year. Okay, so we're in a downward trajectory, but it's still very, very hot. So what does that mean, for the future? I mean, again, we're going to continue to track these numbers here, but it could be that next year in March, if the trend continues, we're going to see about maybe 17 and then 15 and then 13, right? If it remains constant, that's what we're going to see in consumer confidence and buyer interest, okay? Now, if we do see less inventory in the market, which is already very low, and if we do see that interest rates do drop to 5%, then we're going to see an influx of buyers, I believe. Okay, right now it's a 6.4, 6.5, 6.3-ish this whole week, right? So we're going to continue to see how that works out. Anyway, finally, let's take a look at the other market here, which is the duplex market here, the 2 to 4 units, multifamily. Let's just take a look at, see what the prices have been for the homes. All right, so we're averaging around $355,000 in duplex purchase, and then that's the general Aurora area. 355 is the average, and let me just give you the median number here for duplexes. Again, 360, give or take. Has it been the same since last year? Last year we were looking at 360, and this year is the same. So in duplex, the prices have remained relatively the same compared to a year ago. Okay, year over year, we're looking at the same prices for the duplex, which is around 360,000. Okay, how many is the inventory? Looking at two here. It says in the month of March we only had 2 publicly available on the market active. Obviously, if there's some that are out of the market, then it is what it is. I myself have one on 636 West Galena Boulevard here in Aurora that is on the private listing network, but it is for sale, okay? Just not public in the MLS and other websites. But if you're watching this video and you're interested in that one, 630-777-4597. I've had many calls regarding that property, but again, it is for sale. And give me a call. We got to talk about that one, okay? But yes, that's what we're looking at here. And now compared to last year, how many did we have, right? In March of last year, we had 3, okay? So we have 1 less. So again, it's relatively the same, okay? If that's for the duplex market here in the general Aurora area. And finally, when it comes to shows per listing or buyer demand, when it comes to this, every duplex is averaging about 6 shows per listing, okay? Is that better or worse than last year? It looks like it's 4.9 less than last year, but it's not a huge number where it's going to break the bank or anything like that. We're looking at last year, it had about 6.1, I want to say here, and now this year we're at 5.8, and then you go back a year further than that, and in 2024 we had 8, right? So again, we do see consistency here where it's just, if you're looking at the last 3 years, we do see a downward spiral of maybe 1, 2 less buyers year over year over year, if that makes sense, okay? But again, it's because of the volatility of the interest rates and whatnot. But again, it's all in all here, the really hot market is in the 300K or less. We do see a lot of buyers here still. It is the highest time of the year right now for buyers in March and April, the pinnacle of the buyer demand for the year. It doesn't mean that later on there's not going to be any buyers. There's always going to be buyers for real estate, but we do see that right now is a peak. So if you're looking to maximize on your return, right now is the time to list. And if you have any further questions, not only can you find great videos and resources here on my YouTube channel, but you can also find some by reaching out to me at this number, again, 630-777-4597. Thank you so much for watching this quick little market update here, the monthly one. I hope that you find this information useful. If you have any questions, again, always reach out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.